G'day guys and welcome back to another episode of the Total War podcast. Today we have some new guests appearing on the show, and we have some, of course, regulars. So first off we have Saphire Phoenix.
Hey there, guys.
Yep, we also have Diplex Heated.
Hello.
We have, of course, WhiteEagle.
Hey there, guys.
We have it's Malakith, right?
Malakith.
Malakith. Okay, well there you go. Malakith. So there we go. He's new. Um,
Oh,
and we also have, of course, Pom, Prince of Macedon. So it's awesome to have you here.
Hey guys, it's me, Palm, Prince of Macedon, or Alex, whatever you like to call me.
Okay, awesome. So we have a pretty decent lineup. We have an awesome lineup today, and the topic what we're going to be talking about is, of course, the multiplayer aspects of Total War. So we're going to begin with the Rome Total War, the one where basically the multiplayer side of Total War, I'd say, picked up, and it's still going strong after all this time. A lot of people still play it, of course. Majority of people know that Pom plays it a lot, and
Heck yeah.
yeah. So a lot of people go over to your channel to still find out and look at how it's still growing and everything. There's still some people that do like commentaries over it, and you can see how it's still going very strong. So in terms of just what you think they've done right and everything, the positives and all that, Pom, I reckon you should start off out of anyone about the Rome Total Wars multiplayer and what you liked about it, and just
Oh,
yeah.
Let's see, Rome Total War multiplayer, they pretty much did everything right. Like, I love the fact that they have a game lobby where everyone can just converse, and they can arrange games out there instead of joining an automatic sorted battle. I hate those. I'd rather join a game that I could trust. I like the fact that you have so much customization. You can change the money value. Like, a lot of people do low money, like 10,000 to 15,000 denarii, but some people like playing like 31,000 denarii. And I like the option that the first Rome Total War gives. If you go to later Total War games, they give you very limited money options. Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of things. Rome Total War, actually Medieval 2 is probably the last one that has the free-for-all setting. And that's one of the most fun options you can do in Rome Total War. Yeah, I like the fact that you can just join a lobby and you can see all the games that are available, and you can just join whatever you like. Those are like my top things that I like of Rome Total War.
For sure, looks like they went with the later ones to try to streamline it and get everything in quicker. But like with Shogun and stuff like that. Does anyone else have anything to say about the Rome? Like they have their experiences and stuff with it?
yeah, I guess like what we said in previous podcasts about the unit reaction time being
Okay, yep.
really almost instant in Rome, and that's a reason why people still play it a lot, because it's like pure strategy. It's like really like chess-like, or you know what I mean? Really reactionary. They like the strategy in it.
Yeah. There's also a good variety, I reckon, of the units compared
Yeah.
to the later games. But yeah,
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
there's there's barely any difference in units. So when picking factions, obviously a lot more important in Rome. Even though I don't play multiplayer too much, because it seems that most of the people who play now are extremely good at it. So entering as someone that hasn't played a lot of Rome Total War before in the multiplayer scene is hard, because as Christopher said, or MrMate, that is it WhiteEagle? Sorry, my bad. So many names here, but that it's responsive. Like in later Total War games, to get a unit out of melee could take seconds and just a whole lot of spam clicking to get them out of there. In Rome Total War, it's a lot more responsive, so it's comes down to skill, not so much what the units just tend to do. It's good.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you watch some of the online battles, it seems to get really fast paced, especially with Cav. Like you got Cav like making decisive moves on the battlefield because you can move them so quickly. Like just like everyone's been saying, also the free for all is absolutely crazy. I don't know why they don't still have it. It just led to these awesome battles you can see online. Does anyone else have anything they want to cover about it? Like they've played it? Any specific battles they want to bring up that they remember from Rome Total War 1? Nothing.
I'm
Not
pretty
really?
sure everything's been covered, really.
Yeah, I think we covered it all in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Um, well,
I think it's
obviously,
because
yeah,
majority of us, except Palm, though, like I personally, I don't know about the rest, but don't play too much Rome Total
yeah.
War.
I played
Yeah.
the more recent
I
ones.
mostly play campaign with Rome. The multiplayer side I tend to play in sort of Third Age. I haven't
Yeah.
played so much in Rome for a fair while.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Okay, well, obviously we're going to move on to Medieval 2 now. I've never played Medieval 2's multiplayer. I don't know why, but
oh, you're missing out.
yeah, I never played. I never played the Third Age one either. Like, I keep getting told to play it, but I've never played it so far. Does anyone want to start off with the Medieval's aspects of like its multiplayer, what they did right, comparing like in comparison to Rome Total War 2? I mean, sorry, Rome Total War. That's not out yet, that one. So yeah, no one want to start
I
off?
think they did quite a lot right, but I think the response time probably wasn't as fast as Rome. Am I right in saying that? Does anyone else agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't,
they-
I
they
don't know what
can
it is,
have,
but I find that Rome was faster paced than Medieval was.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Rome you can, your units were a lot more responsive. But there are some things that the Cav can do in Medieval 2 that the Cav can't do in Rome. For instance, you can get your Cav out of the stickiest of situations in Medieval 2. Like in Rome, you could surround them, and that would be the end of the Cav. But in Medieval 2, if you surround Cav, you can easily escape that in multiplayer battles. I think Medieval 2 did a good job of replicating Rome Total War success. They had free-for-alls. They have siege battles, which I think they actually improved upon in Medieval 2. And I think Medieval 2 is probably the last Total War game that actually had good siege battles,
yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think everyone's going to agree on that point.
Yeah, because
Right.
then all the I mean, let's not skip ahead of time, but what you said that the medieval had the last good siege battles, because basically they removed the whole point of having to wait for the equipment in the later
Yeah.
Total War games. You didn't have any towers. You didn't even have any ladders, even though ladders were commonly used in the 1800s and 1700s too during sieges, which is a bit disappointing. Yeah.
hmm Smaller siege maps in later Total War games, kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyone want to expand upon, like with any mods? Well, Alex, I'm pretty sure you played the
Third
Third Age one, yeah.
Age.
So,
I played it a lot.
yeah, you want to talk a bit about the Third Age mod on multiplayer?
Yeah, the Third Age mod for multiplayer is pretty good. It actually uses some of the maps from the Medieval 2 game. So, if there's a map that you loved in Medieval 2 that you want to play in Third Age, you do have that option. I think you do anyway. But I like the fact that with the multiplayer in Third Age, it's exactly the same as Medieval 2, but the one thing I love about it is the maps, particularly the ones that are associated with Lord of the Rings. So you can fight on Pelennor Fields, Helm's Deep, Rivendell, all these big places, all these main places in both the books and the films. And, you can have that multiplayer one-on-one aspect brought into those maps. That's probably my favourite part of the Third Age one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome having the ability to. I didn't think when I first started up that you'd be able to use the mods in online capability. I thought you wouldn't be able to. Does it run off just the same servers and stuff from the original game?
No, I think it has its. I'm not too sure, but it doesn't. It has its own game lobby.
Okay,
It doesn't show like Medieval 2 servers. It only has the Third Age ones on the list.
Okay, cool. Chris, I think
Right.
you said you played it.
Yeah, I played it as well, but I played online quite a lot. But another thing I did was, hot seat campaigns on the same machine.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Like I did them with my brother and stuff. I don't know if you can do them even in the later ones, but I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, it was
It was a
basically
lot of fun doing that.
Yeah,
Hot seats.
That's cool. So I think basically we covered medieval and Rome. So far we've been saying that they both draw on each other's strength on the games. Medieval seemed to improve on the siege battles, making it more epic, but there were some people had some issues with how quick the units moved. I think we'll move on to Empire. That was pretty quick to get through the other two, but we'll move on to Empire. I played Empire a lot online. I thought it was pretty epic because it was a whole new setting. Does anyone want to start off with Empire? And anyone played it in particularly more than the rest of them, or oh, Napoleon? Really, they're both in the same settings, just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is it in
I have
Empire
a-
that they first introduced multiplayer campaigns? Is that in Empire or is
No, I
that in
think in
Shogun?
Napoleon brought in
Yeah,
Was it
co-op
Napoleon?
and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the co-op campaigns are such a good, like, just a great addition to the game, I reckon. Obviously they had the connectivity issues when they first started. I think both games suffered it. Shogun and Napoleon had really bad connectivity issues with the, like, dropping out of sync and stuff. But you know,
Yeah.
Oh, it still does that. Yeah.
yeah. So I think WhiteEagle could say that, you know, it's pretty fun having, you're playing opposing
definitely.
factions and fighting out, you know, these epic battles to gain land over playing with one of your friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you can talk about Napoleon or Empire. I think Malakith, or you said that yourself, you had some things to say about Napoleon. Or,
Yeah, I think it was Napoleon. I'm not sure about Empire, but when you do the co-op campaign, wherein if you're not both engaged in the battle, it makes you auto-resolve it. That was a bit sort of off. You can't gift units across and things.
yeah. That's turned out really terrible sometimes for when it forces you to auto resolve, because the auto resolve mechanic in it was absolutely terrible. Yeah, there's just so
Definitely.
many examples of the auto resolve just not working. Diplex, did you play a
Three
lot
of
of
Marcus's merchant ships defeated my entire British fleet on an
Yeah.
auto-resolve.
Lots of
Wasn't
trade
happy.
ships. So, yeah. Diplex, did you play a lot of the Napoleon online or Empire?
I played. I mean, I'm a kind of a mod guy.
Yeah.
But I played a lot of NTW3.
Yeah.
I play that still a lot. I have a lot of replays. I think Malakith is familiar with that mod as well. And it is... sorry, what was the subject again? My bad.
No.
We're talking about
Like,
the specifics.
Yeah, just like
Simon.
Napoleon and stuff. What you've done in it, what you think you liked about it, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, well, multiplayer-wise, as we said before, there's not much that you can change. You can basically just pick a map, go with a few factions, and that's it. Sieges, never really played any multiplayer sieges in Darth mod. I mean, in Napoleon or Empire. I just generally don't like them. And that's about it. I mean, I'm not the biggest multiplayer kind of guy. I hope Rome 2 will change that though, and have like a better sort of community around it, like Shogun brought in when they introduced clans and everything.
Yeah.
But I stick to single player with those games, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Napoleon could build up some epic multiplayer battles there, from what I've seen online. Mainly just because the graphics and the artillery, and it just had an epic setting. And I think the units were done well in some cases. Some were a bit off, but in general, I think they did an alright job. Obviously, we lost the sieges and everything. Anyone else want to expand on the Napoleon or Empire multiplayer traits and stuff? Anything like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
expanding on the NTW3 mod again, I really liked what that did with the multiplayer, in that it seemed to make the maps considerably larger and make the units slower to fight. I mean, you put one unit up against one unit, it would be there for a reasonable amount of time, which made it, you know, if you commit a unit to this fight, it's there for a reasonable length of time, so it was quite good from that perspective. Sort of the opposite to what you were saying with Rome, which was quite fluid and quick.
Yeah.
I guess it's a different type of sort of strategy to some extent, but it seemed to fit with that sort of era of inaccurate gunpowder quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Pom?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that I did like the fact that Empire and Napoleon they did introduce naval warfare to multiplayer,
Yes.
which I thought was
Yeah.
very innovative, because Rome lacked it and Medieval 2 lacked it, and also the there was a lot of faction balance, among the factions, I think. So I think every faction had a chance against any other faction.
Yeah.
Like with Sweden, you can take down France. Russia and France were pretty good matchups, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But definitely, I love the
Yeah, it's
naval
good map.
aspect.
Yeah, they
But-
did it well, especially Napoleon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Mhm.
what Malakith said as well, that with the NTW3, so many things changes that you cannot simply win, as like it doesn't just line everything up like it used to do. It kind of brings back the whole sort of setup from Rome, whereas one nation simply won't or cannot beat another nation because it has worse cav or better line infantry or worse artillery, So
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping to see more of that, so that it gets so that the factions kind of receive more of an identification. Oh, he's Rome. Oh, he's got great foot infantry or infantry, and oh, he's Gaul. He's got great berserkers. So you know what I mean. So that you can
I gotcha.
sort of And what
Yeah, but more
NTW3
distinctiveness.
made was that. Yeah, but what NTW3 did was that the British line infantry basically outguns anything else. The Russian line infantry has more troops in their infantry or in their units, and the French are really good in melee. It's like it sort of gives the makes a difference when you're playing different nations.
And
That's a cool
they've
concept,
also
yeah.
got quite good weaknesses as well. Like I think the backstory was Russia had inferior saltpeter, so they have worse shooting statistics, but they've got
Yeah,
better
exactly.
melee to compensate
Exactly.
for it. And it gives some uniqueness to the units, even though if you looked at them, they would look fairly similar other than the uniforms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, I think that again just proves the power of the mods for Total War and stuff like that. I think we'll move on to Shogun though, because I played the hell out of Shogun. I think a lot of people came into Total War with Shogun. It was basically like it brought in a heck of a lot of people. Like honestly, I saw, massive surge in people talking about Total War after Shogun 2 came out. So I thought Shogun 2 multiplayer was pretty awesome. They had their problems here and there, and they didn't have the whole lobby thing from Rome, but I thought it was pretty good. The balance was, like I said, some of the units had to be patched in some cases, and the numbers and stuff. But overall, I thought it was good. It was like quick. It was really fast paced. A lot of people were playing, so at the start, it really wasn't too hard to find a match or anything like that. Does anyone want to talk about their experiences with Shogun? Any epic battles they can remember or anything like that, or just any problems they've had with Shogun?
Connectivity, I think, with Shogun.
Yeah.
Particularly, as we mentioned previously, with the multiplayer co-op campaigns.
Yep.
Just such bad connectivity, constantly, not necessarily dropping out or anything, just it was quite slow. Until you went into a battle, it's very, very slow. But as soon as you get into a battle, it's fine. I mean, you can gift units over to the other player to fight alongside you and things like that, and it was perfectly fine. And then as soon as you go back onto the campaign map, it's just slow. That was probably the biggest issue I had with Shogun 2.
Desyncs, definitely. I mean, me and Diplex tried a co-op campaign. I think we got through half a battle 8 times before it desynced every single time.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems with that. I'm pretty sure it even came back with Fall of Samurai. When they released that, they had some problems that, for some reason it came back. But I think online, overall, I think it was a pretty good success. They brought in the whole personalized general. I'm pretty sure it was the first time you could have a personalized general and your veteran troops to change their color and everything, and they had a lot of the DLC characters you could use.
And they brought in that whole metagame criteria, like the moving around the map to unlock your units kind of thing, which was a bit weird in my opinion. I'm not sure I entirely like it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a
I've had a
pretty big move.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've had a couple of good co-op campaigns. I feel like the map was balanced because everyone started off quite small. Whereas maybe in like Napoleon, I remember trying to be Austria and just getting owned by everyone because everyone hated me. And my opponent was like Britain and just kind of sat there, and I basically almost got defeated. He had to hardly do anything. But in Shogun, I've had one good one with Marcus and some other friends. The one thing I didn't really like was I started playing the Avatar multiplayer like quite late, so it was quite hard to start off because they all had veteran units and things. Yeah. And I was just starting fresh, and all I had was like Ashigaru, and I just kept getting owned. So maybe they should address that. I'm not sure. I don't. What do you think?
Yeah, hopefully they do.
That's the problem I had. I think that they should have like maybe not necessarily have this, but as a possibility, they should maybe for beginners who have only just gone into the multiplayer, maybe between if you just started off until you get to say, I don't know, rank 10, just for example, you only face opponents between certain levels, and then once you actually build up some experience and build up your avatar to a certain level and things, then you can sort of progress up into the sort of more higher level players who are constantly playing, who are like veterans and have veteran units, because if you just go up against veteran people from the start, you're not going to get anywhere in multiplayer.
Yeah.
You don't get anywhere, I don't think.
Hmm.
Like I remember when I came into it a bit late, and to get my first like 2 3 levels, I'm like not even lying, I lost my way. Like I had to keep losing because every time I got into a battle it was just against like a 10 star or something, and there's nothing you can do.
Mm.
And I think adding the Fall of Samurai units as well, like if you ever jump into like a mixed general event, you get absolutely smashed. And I
Hmm.
think they wanted to have that whole thing of, you know, like the person that's using the traditional units to use more tactics, you know, to flank around the enemy, but the guns do so much damage that it's just over before you're, you know, if they even get one. That's my experience at least, and I'm pretty sure me and WhiteEagle had a battle online, a couple of battles online where, you know, just
Yeah.
one shot from the you know, from the line, the white bear infantry or something like that, just destroys your samurai, and there's not much
Yeah.
left you can really do.
I didn't
I
have full samurai and just the whole enemy army was just gun cavalry, and
Yeah,
I could do nothing.
the gun cavalry absolutely just smashes everything. I think, Pom, did you have any experiences with Shogun 2 online?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think Avatar was unique, but I think they put too much emphasis on Avatar. I think there should have been more of an equal emphasis on the old school custom battles where you can just join a game and not worry about having unlocked units. You know, just have the same roster as everybody else.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I tried for a whole month trying to join a custom battle, but no one ever hosted one, and no one ever joined my custom battles. So I was stuck with Avatar, and it wasn't a very pleasant experience in my opinion.
Yeah, it gets pretty unbalanced when you're fighting someone with a hell of a lot more units than you, or, you know, just veteran units that can just tear through anything you have.
Yeah, and I also did not like the multiplayer maps at all. They seem way too constrictive, very limited, and there wasn't very much room for maneuver as opposed to the
No.
previous Total War titles.
I think
Uh,
the one thing I did like about the maps was the strategic points. You know, the certain, maybe there was an occasional building that could actually give you an advantage.
Yeah, yeah.
I quite liked that idea, but apart from that, I'd have to agree with Pom there that the maps were too restrictive, I think, in comparison to previous Total War games. I mean, from
Yeah,
my-
I gotta
Yeah.
say, with those strategic points, I think it was like a bowery and stuff like that, and the armory, and
Yeah.
at least the addition of those, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but near Fall Samurai they did a patch where if you own all three, it starts a countdown, a 10-minute countdown. If you don't reclaim one of them, you lose like automatically. And
Okay, I've never got all three, so
yeah,
I've always lost.
I seem to remember seeing that as well. So that
Yeah.
people just can't hide in the corner of the map in a forest or something.
yeah,
Corner
yeah.
camping.
Yeah, because in Shogun, especially when they brought up Fall of Samurai, that's what would happen. For like, you'd have a battle where people just sit there for, like they did with the traditional army, would just sit there waiting for the for the guy with the Fall of Samurai army to make a move, and then now this forces people to move if the other guy, you know, takes the offensive. I thought that was a good addition though, because, you know, it happened a lot with people just hiding, especially since in Shogun you had such a difference when you had units in the trees and stuff. Like you could clearly see the units taking less damage, you know, from the arrows hitting the tree branches, or that stuff if they're in cover in cover and stuff. So people would just camp it in the forest. It's a strategy if you're on defense, but I think sitting there for like 30 minutes and not moving gets a bit annoying for the other person. You know,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure everyone's experienced, you know, fighting like one person like that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
campers. Yeah.
Many people, many people.
Yeah, that was a problem also in like Napoleon and also Empire Total War were all the campers. But by adding balanced maps, it kind of defeated the purpose of camping since there was no terrain advantages. I don't mind people who camp on flat terrain, but if they camp on a hill, then that makes a huge disadvantage.
Oh, hill campers. Oh, the
Yeah,
number of times I've had to face a hill camper. It's
especially in
just a
Empire.
pain.
yeah, I think the most evident I've seen that is in Napoleon and on the, what's that map called? I think it's the pyramids or something.
Oh yeah,
Holy
Oh.
crap! Like you always see they just camp on that hill and they have artillery, and you just gotta watch your men die as as they're trying to get towards the enemy. But yeah,
I
exactly.
think for me, when it's not on all occasions, but on some occasions, whenever I've faced a hill camper, what adds insult to injury is that they don't know how to hill camp properly. It's they think that they're sitting on a hill, they're going to be safe, they can beat you from the hill, no problem, and then you just sort of completely decimate them. It's like, if you're going to hill camp, do it properly, at least.
Let's hope they don't.
Yeah, anyone else have anything you want to say about Shogun or Total War multiplayer in general? No, all good?
Pretty sure I'm fine.
No, not really. Kind of enjoying the fact that sieges at least were taken a bit more seriously than they were in Empire Napoleon.
Yeah.
They didn't.
That's true.
They didn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, they put more effort into it, but it was just the setting itself was a bit. You just have soldiers run up the wall from all different
Yeah.
angles, and you swarm the guy
Yeah.
inside.
The
Not much of a
AI for
strategic-
wall climbing though, that was
Yeah.
horrible. It's like the gate is wide open, but for some reason, we're just going to climb the wall instead.
Fall
Okay.
down
Yeah.
while doing it as well.
Yeah.
I had my general fell down from the wall actually as I dismounted and had him climb up by the end of the battle for fun, and he's
Nice.
the only guy that falls down to his death and dies. I'm like,
Look at this one. Yeah, there's some funny moments in Shogun, I have to say. But yeah, I think all in all, it was probably like the highlight of Total War in the multiplayer aspect. Like, you could see that they're really trying to push more people to join the multiplayer scene and everything, and I'm sure they're going to carry that on to Rome Total War 2, which is obviously a topic we have to speak on today, because people would be annoyed if we didn't talk about Rome Total War 2.
Of course.
Yeah, so I think we'll just start off with the basic question of what are you guys expecting them to do? Then we'll move on to what you want them to do and you think is plausible for them to do for the multiplayer in the future, for Rome Total War in the future Total War titles. So I think we'll go back to Pom from we started with Rome Total War 1. So for Rome Total War 2, what would you like to see them do and stuff?
What would I like to
expect them
see?
do? Well, yeah.
Okay, well, this is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a lot of the superpowers from the time of the Punic Wars, such as like Pontus, Pergamon, the Seleucids, the Ptolemies, Carthage, Rome, the Achaean League. I want to see more like Greek players on the scene, like the Aetolian League. I want to see bigger maps. I want to see another option for the free for all, but I think with that kind of melee setting, I think it's very plausible. Maybe more of a multiplayer oriented campaign, because people like me don't ever play a campaign because of the lack of multiplayer options for it. So I would like to see, just more custom multiplayer campaign options. Maybe longer battles. I don't want to see units rout immediately.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, stuff like that, and maybe the fatigue level too. I don't want to see units rest for like a minute and then they're fully charged again, because that defeats the purpose of the Roman reserve system. Those are some ideas off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that in terms of the bigger maps, I'm pretty sure that's like locked in already. It's like from the demo and stuff, you can see.
Oh yeah, the demo.
Yeah.
Carthage is just huge.
Yeah, so
You see the back of the city on top of the hill, and you think, oh, it's just one of those little backdrop pictures that they've added in onto the map. And then as the camera moves up, it's like, oh no, actually this is part of the map. I can actually go over here. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well, let's hope.
And
And the sieges look like they're going to... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Alright, the sieges look like they're going to be really awesome. You know how they're talking about the capture points. So like they had capture points in Shogun, but the capture points in the city are going to be really awesome.
Yeah.
It's not just like the fight to the plaza. And obviously the city looks a lot cooler and the big walls and everything a lot better than Shogun.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be really intense.
Yeah, I'm
Also
sure.
I think now that they're adding the ability to come in with boats and everything, and this was also in Shogun too, that they're gonna perhaps amp it up to like you'll see more battles with 40 units perhaps in multiplayer if the battlefields are that much larger, since you could do it in Shogun too. So I'd like to see them standardizing that, because it's really cool when you have this big and epic battles and then it only says you deployed like 1,500 and that kind of, I don't know. I'd just like to see more units, because that allows for more sort of how how should I
Like
put
an
it?
epic feel.
Yeah, and it also allows you to make more strategic decisions when you have more things to play around with and like keep reserves and
Makes it
everything like that.
makes it more
Absolutely, yeah.
challenging as well. Having to
Oh,
command such larger numbers.
yeah, exactly. And that there's like a persistent multiplayer system where you build your army. This is just something extra. And the units you lose, they stay lost. And then you can purchase more units to your army for the money, and then like save it. And like every week you get a chance to upgrade people and stuff like that. Have like a persistent army management when you're
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Isn't that,
That
Pick
is that
it.
similar to what Shogun 2 did with like if you bought one unit or you built an army with a unit, and then if that unit survived the battle and gained experience and stuff, then you could use that as an veteran unit and
Exactly.
things.
That'd be cool. But I'm talking about like having the unit. It's with every unit that you just when you start off, you pick a nation that you'll play as and represent. You can have several profiles, and you have a set amount of money. You can buy a set amount of units, and if you lose that and this amount of units there, they won't be replenished. It's not like you can come in again and buy them again. It'll be replenished over time. And then perhaps, let's say you're not going to be matched up with a guy that has 5,000 troops and you have like 2,000, and you'll be matched up with another guy that has around the same amount of troops. It'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It could be something on the side.
Well, I think they said that they're adding the like customized legions and stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna add the whole
Yeah.
having your own specific things in your legions for Rome or whoever you're playing as. I think that with your veteran units there should be like the permadeath thing. So once you lose them in a battle, because it just adds more to the whole experience. Like you're not gonna throw your best units in at the front. Or depending on what they are, you're not going to throw your best units into just stupid situations because you don't want to lose them. I think some other games, not like Total War, have proved that the permadeath thing can be pretty crazy. Like just off the top of my head, it's really off topic, but like XCOM, if anyone's played XCOM, the whole losing your one soldier could it could be a pretty big loss. But I think we'll move on to Malakith. Or do you have anything you'd like to say about like Rome Total War 2 if you could like give them some suggestions to Creative Assembly, what they would be?
Just tying in with what Pom said, really, the fatigue system. I mean, in Shogun it was a lot better than some of the earlier games. Like when they get fatigued, that's a big deal. They don't just step away for 2 minutes, have a quick breather, and then run straight back in again. Just tying that in, I think if they do that properly, it could end up a lot like the NTW3 mod, where you're committing a unit's a big deal. And you have to keep an eye on its status and pull it back off the lines and put in some reserves, and just that sort of level of, rather than having everything just in one big line that tries to envelop or something. I think it's just an extra layer that would be nice for them to have.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, is there anything you want to say about it?
Well, on the fatigue system, I think instead of going linear, like fresh, winded, tired, exhausted, or whatever, it should be more like they get winded faster. If they're charging and stuff, they get winded faster, and then if they have a quick break, they'll be fresh again.
Quickly.
But if they keep doing that, then they will get tired. But I think they should get tired and exhausted slower. I mean, they're trained soldiers and everything. I think
yeah, that's a good
they should last longer. But yeah, winded faster, and then I mean, like how it would be in real life.
Yeah, and like so the recharge system works that if, like as you said, if you're winded, it goes down to fresh pretty much in no time. But if you're very tired, you have to spend minutes resting them. It's like the further in you go, the longer it takes to go back to the state of being all fresh.
Yeah.
This is my idea how it should work.
Anyone have any opinions on like whether they should bring back the whole like the abilities with the general? Because they could, if you had played Shogun enough, you could see that some of the general abilities, such as I think stand and fight, where the general would get off his horse and stand in this like position to encourage his men, that could like change the tide of a battle. Do you think that they should bring back the abilities of the generals, such as like rally? Well, rally's a basic, I think that
Rally, I think, is a definite one. Yeah.
Do you think I should bring back the other ones though, such as like stand and fight or the other things like that? Or just like customized generals at all? Or if you just think they should stick with like
I think what would be quite an interesting thing to have would be if they were to say have the ability to customize your general, that you should be able to pick the abilities that they have, and you can only have like a certain number. So, if you could use a certain 3, like rally and hold position or whatever, in one battle, and then you could maybe, if you wanted to, change them so you have a different set of 3 and see how that plays out in a battle and things like that. So it gives the battle completely different, or not necessarily completely different, but possibly different outcomes every time, based on what abilities your general has in controlling his army. Really,
Yeah,
I think that'd be a pretty good thing.
Sure. I'm wondering how the whole thing will run if they do carry on the 40 stack armies. Considering you can have 3 on 3, I'm assuming that's going to be a bit much for people's computers to run. Honestly, like
I
something.
think so,
Yeah.
but yeah, they have said that it's going to be minimum. It's the minimum requirements will be what Shogun's requirements are. Shogun 2, sorry. But I still think that, like you said, even today, that's still
Yeah, even
pushing it for a lot of people's computers.
So,
Yeah.
and most people are going to be wanting to play that game on the highest settings they can, because you're going to want to see the epic visuals. But having so many units on the screen, is going to be a challenge for them. But really, I think we've covered a majority of the things in the multiplayer about what we all liked or we didn't like. Does anyone else have anything they want to cover about any of the Total War, or what they'd like to see, anything we missed or anything like that?
One thing I'm looking forward to is challenge in Rome 2. I think it's going to be, I've already said that it's going to be even more challenging, but I think that it's going to be, you're going to have to think a lot quicker in multiplayer for Rome 2, because you've got that whole overhead view, and you've also got the objectives you've got to capture. And as Diplex mentioned, if they have the 40 units in an army sort of thing, there's going to be so many more of these little details that have big impacts on the battles. You're going to have to think so much faster. You're going to have to absolutely know what it is you want to do, and you have to know how you're going to implement it. And if things don't go your way, you're going to have to know how to at least attempt to try and correct the situation. I think it's going to be a lot more faster and a lot more challenging. And even so that you'll be playing against another person, you're not going to be playing against the AI who could be predictable. You're going to be playing against someone who's going to be completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
In multiplayer. Based on what we've seen in the demo, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the single player will be good enough, but multiplayer should. Like, I don't see them going back with anything. They seem to know where they're going with it. They seem to really want to put a multiplayer focus on it. I'm not sure what direction they're going in. If they're trying to make it like more of a competition scene or something like that, or they're still just trying to keep the multiplayer in a casual setting. There are a lot of tournaments though, from what I've seen on online, hosted by different people. I think the area of Carthage is in a couple, and yeah, they look pretty epic, and maybe they are going for the more competitive scene. But yeah, like I said, I think we've covered majority of the aspects of the different things of Total War, from Rome to Shogun. So everyone good with that? Everyone have anything else to say about it? Everyone good?
I'm fine.
Happy. I'm happy.
Alright, cool.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we wrapped it up pretty quickly. Everyone's end up with like an hour and stuff. We keep talking, but so yeah, I'd like to thank Malakith, sir, for joining us, and of course Pom. They're brand new to this, and yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem, man.
Thanks for inviting me.
Hopefully you can both join us again for another one. Also, of course, Diplex, Saphire, Phoenix, and WhiteEagle, for joining.
Thank you for
coming
having me.
back. These guys have been there before. I think like a couple times actually.
It's great.
Yeah. So thanks again, guys, for joining us. And make sure you check out each host channel. Probably most of you guys already subbed to Pom and stuff, so you're gonna follow him over here. So
Greetings.
so thanks guys for watching, and we'll talk to you later.